Asian Americans have come to bear.
My son was called a racial slur that was derogatory towards Asian Americans on the school bus.
The COVID-19 pandemic spawning a virus of hate in 2020, with documented incidents of harassment and assault escalating in the Asian American community. Lintag says what happened to her son is nothing new, and she worries for her family's safety.
My oldest has been instructed not to walk by herself. My son's getting ready to start high school in fall, and he's been given the same instructions.
Asians were not only fighting the pandemic, but we were fighting racism.
Dr. Carol Lee Tran is a clinical psychologist and author who teaches at UC Davis. She says constant exposure to racism and acts of bigotry can affect the brain.
Awareness of racism causes us to be hypervigilant. It affects our prefrontal cortex, it affects the amygdala. These are areas of the brain that control affect and emotion. When we have these incidents, we watch them on TV, we hear it on the news, we feel all these things in our body.
Trauma advocates say now felt by many Asian Americans.
This has to stop.
Asian Community Center Senior Services President Derek Lam ringing the alarm. His Sacramento-based organization working to keep seniors feeling connected after a spate of coast-to-coast attacks on older Asians.
They feel afraid of going out because they're not sure if they will be the next target.
Telling us nearly all ACC residents are now vaccinated to safeguard against fears of contracting COVID-19. His team also conducting telephone wellness checks.
This is when I was in Omaha.
Reaching residents like Vicky Beaton, who immigrated to the U.S. from Taiwan in 1975.
Kind of a scary and really sad, you know, and definitely have to be more cautious, you know, and hopefully and I'll be okay.
We need to understand that the seniors' fears are warranted.
Experts saying acknowledgement of mental trauma is an important first step.
We want to let them know that their fears are real, they're warranted, and that we're going to find ways to help them to be able to do what they want to do to go out. So we're going to go with you. We're going to walk with you so that you can get your exercise, so that you don't have to be afraid.
Letitia, who is also a therapist, is now working with her child's school principal on how to have conversations with students on racism.
Because this is not okay. And kids need to know that that's not okay.
And experts say it's important to combat the stigma of seeking help for mental health. It can start with a conversation with your friends and family and simply exercising compassion for those who might be going through mental health issues. Ultimately recognizing that there is no shame in getting help if you need it. Reporting from Sacramento, Stephanie Lynn, KCRA 3 News.
And according to the American Psychological Association, Asian Americans are 3 times less likely than other racial groups to seek treatment for mental health issues. Experts say this can be tied to a number of reasons, including the cultural stigma that associates mental illness with disability, the model minority myth, which assumes that Asian Americans are compliant and successful, also language barriers, difficulty accessing health care and insurance, and a lack of mental health professionals trained to handle issues culturally specific to Asian Americans.
Against this backdrop, KCRA 3's Brian Heap spoke with some members of the AAPI community to get their perspective on the current challenges and possible solutions.
There's a growing outcry within the Asian American Pacific Islander communities. A lot of city and community leaders stepping up right now to address some of the issues that people have been experiencing. And we're joined right now by a panel. We have Sacramento City Council member Mai Vang. Ree Key is with the Modesto Cambodian Temple. Also joining us is Reverend Matt Hamasaki with the Buddhist Church of Sacramento. And Wendy McAnally is a KCRA 3 viewer. First, thank you all for being with us. I'd like to ask each of you about your own experiences. What have you seen over the past year? How have things been for you and your family and your friends? And I tell you what, let's just go ahead and we'll just start with you, Wendy, since you're top left on my screen right now.
Ever since the whole COVID thing happened, I remember the day when we watched the press conference from Trump, and it was called the China virus. And I specifically remembering my son, who's 9 years old, sat right next to me and started crying, saying that I don't want people to think that, you know, China's bad. And over the course of last year, I just saw more remarks coming out, and people are just, I've gone to the grocery store and, I made a wrong turn and somebody just right out and called me a chink. And it just, little things started happening, and it's more and more often now. And I felt like now is a time when people are saying that, hey, it's freedom of speech. I'm just going to say whatever I feel like it's in my mind. And just over the course of the weekend, I had to make a phone call to my parents and asking them to, hey, can you please just be aware of your surrounding, which I never thought I would have to even make that phone call. And that's what's bothering me.
For me, as an Asian American woman, this isn't something that's new. As a daughter of Hmong refugees and growing up in poverty and living alongside Blacks and Latinos, I think I saw firsthand how the system was truly stacked against us.
I agree with Wendy that having to call, my parents and worrying about their safety, and as far as our congregation, really worrying about the older members. And so luckily we have wonderful organizers within our organization that are trying to schedule, trying to coordinate people who can walk together in case they need to go to the grocery store or whatever, any kind of errands. We do have that heightened sense of vigilance to try to proactively prevent any kind of abuse or attacks to our members.
First of all, I just want to appreciate the American government for bringing us over here really peacefully and harmony for the past 2-3 decades. But since after the pandemic, people start to change, looking at us differently. And, I used to have my kids walking around Modesto Junior College without worry about it. Now I am concerning and say, hey, you don't walk at night.
We're hearing that there is also an issue of underreporting of incidents like these. And Maya, I think you kind of just touched on that a couple of minutes ago. And I know that some members of our KCRA team who are Asian Americans have said that there might be some cultural elements that make AAPI people perhaps more likely targets. For example, being taught not to complain, just keep quiet, move on. Do you think there's some truth to that? And how do we correct that?
Let me just share that there continues to be a harmful and inaccurate narrative that paint Asian Americans and Pacific Islander as a monolithic group, like a model minority, that they don't experience, that they're successful and they don't experience racism. And what this actually does is it masks the disparities among Asian Americans for example, AAPIs have the largest wealth gap when you disaggregate the data. We speak multiple languages. Our cultures are not exactly the same. And so I'm very cognizant when folks ask that question in particular, because I will say in some families, in some Asian families, our parents did teach us to speak up. Maybe in other Asian families, they haven't. And so I'm also always very careful to make sure that we don't come to that conclusion and saying it's a cultural thing.
Last thoughts for everybody, just kind of what the last impression you want to leave our viewers with today. And Matt, we'll start with you.
The last thought that I would want to leave is that it's important for us as minority groups to really support one another. Of course, we want people to support the Asian American community, the API community, but at the same time, I'm also asking for the API community to continue to support the other communities as well.
Learning to live together, understanding one another is very, very important. We are all human beings. It's not just American. We are all human beings, and we share the same planet. We share the same community here in America.
We all have our own part to do in this, this fight for equality. And I think it's important to share our stories, and I'm sharing my story, doing my part.
Very well said. Thank all four of you for your time. We really appreciate it. And these are important discussions, and we're glad that you could be here with us, and we're glad that we could have this positive discussion together. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.